Hey guys, it's Samantha B with Fitness and Nutrition 101. What are we talking about tonight? So we're going to start off our conversation divulging a little bit about cardiovascular exercise. We're then going to talk a little bit about self-care and how we can use that to, one, improve our overall well-being, but also how we can use it to kind of sabotage our outcomes. And then lastly, I'm going to go over a little bit of results driven from a DEXA scan from one of our current members. So let's start it off. I want to just go over basic definitions, okay, so that everybody's crystal clear about what expectations are moving forward forever when you're thinking about doing not only cardiovascular exercise, but exercise in general. So I'm going to read you a couple of definitions. So just so we are all on the same page, cardiovascular is defined as of or relating to or affecting the heart and blood vessels, okay? So cardiovascular, separate from just exercise, which is defined as an activity requiring physical effort carried out, especially to sustain or improve health and fitness. So in no way, shape, or form is it defined by Webster or, I don't know, our president or whoever it happens to be, that exercise has to be done in one specific way. Neither does it have to be done in Samantha B's way, but you have said, hey, I want to be a part of Mama G's lifestyle, and this is what I am going to educate you on. So now, when we combine cardiovascular exercise, cardio with exercise, now we're going to put those two together, okay? So we are doing activities requiring physical effort in regards to affecting the heart and blood vessels, right? So now we combine those two. So if we do not affect the heart, we are not doing cardio. So the beautiful thing that happens when it comes to breathing and exertion is that we use a couple different things. We use oxygen and we use carbon dioxide. The ratio and how we use that really depends on the effort and the time that we're actually doing exercise for. There are exercises that you can put a lot of effort in, but your heart rate will not go up. There are exercises that you can put a lot of effort in, and then your heart rate goes shooting up to the sky. Why is that? It depends on if you need the exercise, if the exercise that's in needs it for the time and for the movement, okay? So we are primarily right now getting to the nitty-gritty of cardiovascular exercise. This is one of your 3 fitness macros here at Mama G's Lifestyle. So no matter where you fall in regards to the experiment or the lifestyle, you're going to be doing some sort of cardiovascular exercise. And I want you to be knowledgeable enough to understand what you are actually doing, okay? So let's turn it around, dun, 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 to our heart rate monitor. So if this looks familiar to you, that's probably because, oh my gosh, does it show backwards on this? Well, if it does, then I apologize, but if it doesn't, then maybe I'm just nuts. Okay, so when you guys are working out, I didn't have a yellow, so I used a lime green. Now, I and Mama G recommend that you guys are using a heart rate monitor for one reason only: data collection, to understand what you're doing and how hard your heart's working. So if you're using it and not looking at all the content, all the data that you're being receiving, you're doing yourself a disservice, okay? Samantha B is looking for efforts and trends. Mama G is looking for calories out, and you are looking for yourself to improve, to feel better, and to enjoy your cardiovascular exercises, no matter if it's running, walking, swimming, HIIT training, you name it, okay? But we're gonna make sure that we're doing it, okay? So down here, I have on this axis right here is your time commitment, okay? So when you guys get your graphs printed out from, if you're using FitIV or if you're using Polar Flow or if you're using your OT graph, they're all gonna look very similar to the output, okay? So right down here is how long did you work out for, okay? So Samantha B has given you an appropriate amount of calculated time to be exercising in whatever it happens to be: low intensity, moderate intensity, high intensity, interval based. And you are trying to then do it. Now, with busy lifestyles and so on and so forth, when you have to add on, maybe you have to do your high intensity with your low intensity, with your mobility, with your strength, that's just because your life is very busy. If we could spread that out and get good rest and recovery in between, we totally would. But you've got to manage your life, your day, and what you can do in your time, okay? So if you only have 30-minute slots to work out, then you've got to break it up. So you might have smaller graphs, okay? They might be extended over periods of time. If you're working out for 3 hours, you might see these peaks stay for longer. So make sure that you're paying attention to how long that graph is. So if you don't compare a graph from 30 minutes to a graph to an hour to a graph to an hour and a half, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, we have low intensity cardiovascular exercise. That's the first one that I'm going to talk to you about. And I ask people to do this for a particular reason. Now, if you look on this axis, this is percentage of heart rate, okay? This is the one that goes up there. So this is now my blue zone right here, down from 60% and lower, okay? That blue zone, 60% of your heart rate max. I was gonna say 1 rep max, or heart, 1 rate max. Here's the deal. When you're talking about your heart rate, you are never going to be working down low or then 60% because you need your heart to beat to be alive, okay? So if your heartbeat is now going down to 30%, 20%, 10%, call 911 because you are gonna need some help. We are not working our heart at 60 and below, okay? We could be doing work, we could be doing effort, but we are not necessarily training our heart, okay? So that's why low intensity will start with zones 2 and 3, which could be green and yellow for you guys, okay? So when I say, okay, you need to do 45 minutes, I don't care what it is, that you are going to achieve this. If you want to do squats and you can achieve these, then you're doing low intensity, steady state cardiovascular exercise. Really? Even though you're using your muscles and you're doing a squat? Yes. Is that going to be really hard? Yes. To maintain a heart rate doing a movement like that, okay? So, 2 and 3, boom, boom, is between your above 60, so nothing below 60, and then below your 80, okay? So between 60 and 80% of your highest maximum heart rate, okay? And you would be chilling there. So if I told you you're gonna do low intensity, steady state cardiovascular exercise, I shouldn't see you start in the blue, go up to here and peak down, and then peak down, and go down here, and then peak back up, and then down, okay? That's not what I wanna see for low intensity. For low intensity, I want to see you get those engines what do they say? Get those engines turned on or something, and I want you guys to turn it up, and I want you to hang out right there, okay? So I want it to be nice and steady state. If it has some squiggles, that's fine. I mean, that's the goal, is try to keep it there and hold it, and try to maintain it for however long, okay? This is a great way to be utilizing your heart rate and getting it stronger, promoting it to have a nice, strong foundation, okay? So now let's talk about, that's your low. Let's talk about your medium, okay? So if you're giving moderate intensity, you're gonna stay somewhere between zones 3 and 4. So you're gonna be somewhere between that yellow and orange, boom, and that's gonna be below your 90, but above your 70, okay? So you're gonna be trotting along right here. Now, is this more work than this? Is it more work? It can be, but what's doing more work is this. So you could be doing, let's stay with the squats. You could do the squats at this and maybe be able to maintain that for 30 minutes, okay? That's gonna be a lot of work, right? But it's not gonna be like running, where running's a lot of work. It all depends on what your strengths and weaknesses are. Now, lastly, your high intensity. This is going to be zones 4 and 5, and you are gonna be working hard, okay? So that's from 80 to 100%, okay? 80 to 100%, you're kicking around here, and you are sweating, and you are pushing hard, and your heart is really challenged. Why wouldn't we want to work up there every opportunity that we have? If that's, I mean, we're going to be burning calories probably at a faster rate. We're going to be sweating. We're going to definitely be feeling it. Number one, you are uncomfortable, okay? You're very uncomfortable. Not a bad thing when it comes to having a goal and trying to achieve it, but I'll tell you this right now. This right here, if you can hold on to your red zone for 20, 30 minutes, you got to improve your base so that this is harder for you to achieve. Why? Why do I say that? Because if you condition your heart to be stronger, to go for the long run, by pushing it up to those higher levels won't feel so hard. It will be harder to do because it will be so strong that it won't need to jump all the way up there. It'll be so conditioned, hanging out down here, that it could really push himself. You could probably do a lot of things. Now, don't be alarmed. If you are one of these people that can just zoom, go right up there, is there anything wrong with you? No. All it means is that I'm suggesting that you start putting in 1, maybe 2 base building cardiovascular exercises a week. All it needs to be is 30 minutes. You can do swimming, you can do walking, you can do jogging depending on how strong your heart is. You can do the stair climber depending on how strong the heart is. And when I say how strong, how much it can withstand, okay? So let's talk about HIIT training, okay? HIIT training, great phenomenon, great for burning fat, great for being able to use your higher zones because it's so uncomfortable up there that you can go boom, 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 right? So when you're doing HIIT training, you're trying to go up and then recover, go up and then recover, go up and then recover, right? So you're utilizing all the zones. The benefit is that you're using recovery zone, low intensity zone, moderate intensity zone, high intensity zone. So you're getting kind of the best of both worlds. Why not do this exercise every day? Because you won't be able to push as hard as you are able to push if you were to build the base. So for all of the people out there that think that they can do high intensity interval training every single day and still be putting the best number up there, you are wrong. You would be able to put more work, you'd be able to push harder if you backed off, gave yourself a low intensity day, recovery days, active recovery days, and then put it to the test. If you don't believe me, try it. Go for a month. Change your routine around. Make sure that you're able to recover and then push harder. Recover, then push harder. And I'm not talking about in one day. I'm talking about take a day, take 2 days, do a HIIT training, do a high intensity workout every 2 days. You would be very impressed with how much harder you would be able to work. That goes to show. So I'm not just talking about the HIIT training. I'm talking about high intensity. So for everybody out there trying to push that heart rate zone all the way to the red every single time that they work out, then I want you to try to bring it down. Now, I've seen so many incredible graphs from people that have been working Mama G's lifestyle that because they're working more of a steady state trend, we're seeing them drop. Maybe they were working right around their orange zone for 30 minutes, and now they're doing the same work, but then it's dropping and dropping and dropping because we wanted them to challenge themselves, but we didn't want them to max it out, right? There's a thing called overtraining. It's a real thing. It happens a lot to people that are trying to lose weight or that don't eat enough calories or not educated about what they're trying to do, and they're just putting the pedal to the metal. More is better. My friends here at Mama G's Lifestyle, you are smarter. You know that high intensity work is very challenging but very effective. And when you use your high intensity, you're going to do it because it is going to be all out effort. You're going to put it all in. But then you're going to work below. Okay? You're going to work below. You're going to put the grind work in. You're going to get the calories out, right? But when you go for that top edge, you're going to go. You're going to push it. Now, say your chart goes up here. Maximum heart rate, it says up there. And your chart goes all the way up there. What's going on there? Your heart rate's not right. Okay? It's as simple as that. You have a maximum heart rate set in there, and if you're going higher than that, that means your heart rate is not set right on your app. So you need to check it and change it. And if there is some algorithms that you can find, 220 minus age, there's some that you can divide by this and times by this and so on and so forth. What did they say? Order of operations, you're gonna do all your multiplication and division, and then you're gonna do your addition and subtraction. Anyway, besides the point. There's so many ways that you can find it, but a really easy way to find it is if you push your heart rate way up there on a high intensity day and it trickles above here. Look at that number and then put it in and update your preferences or your settings or whatever, and then watch how your graph changes on the other days. It is not a grandma approach. It is not a unactive, unhealthy approach. It is a smart approach that is going to build up your base for your cardiovascular endurance. And if you don't have any endurance in here, I don't know why you're expecting it to be able to withhold all this stress right here without having signs of overtraining and being able to optimize your high intensity workouts and your high intensity interval training workouts. The goal here is I want you guys to use your time wisely. Okay, so if all you have is 30 minutes and you only feel productive doing high intensity interval training, then you can't do that every single day. Okay, for those 7 days in a week, if you only have 30 minutes, you might need to go every other day. You might need to go 2 days, back off 1 day. You may need to talk about it. We may need to see what works best for you. Maybe you feel really good when you're working out with friends, and on Mondays and Tuesdays, you got a friend that you can work out and you can really push yourself. But then on Wednesday and Thursday, you don't have a friend to work out with. So maybe you bring down your intensity and work on your, just hold on to that base. I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed, okay? You are doing this, remember, to become better for the rest, okay? Unless you are training for a specific sport that makes you challenge your heart rate and peaks and valleys, and you're in season in that time, then you bet. You got 5 days a week and you're going hard every single day. But if that's not the case, if it's composition training, weight loss, calories is calories. Whoever said it wasn't is lying to you. Calories is calories. Although we're not talking about macros at that, okay? Last thing, okay? So if you guys are doing your strength and mobility, if you're hanging out up here in your upper zones, I need you to chill. I need you to bring it down. And I'm only talking about strength and mobility, not if you're doing HIIT training for your resistance, okay? HIIT training for resistance, your heart rate is gonna come up because you're still doing cardio. If you're working on just strength, you're gonna keep your heart rate lower, okay? So you're probably working with zone 3 and below. Mobility the same way. You need to be able to control your breathing, and if that's really, really going up high, then that's something that we should discuss one-on-one, me and you, all right? So that's all I have to say about cardio for right now, but you've had this little talk with me now. So if you guys have questions about this, please don't hesitate to ask, reach out, bring it up on the page. When we're looking at your graphs, this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, okay, you say, I'm gonna go for a walk, and I know that you're trying to do a list. If I see your graph go like this, that doesn't make sense to me. What are you working on, right? If you're working on a particular thing, work on it. If you're gonna go low intensity, work low intensity. If you're gonna go moderate intensity, work moderate intensity. If you're gonna work high intensity, work high intensity. If you're gonna work interval training, work interval training. If you're gonna have a really challenging interval and you're gonna try to go up and stay up here and get some waves up there, great. Have a purpose, stick with it, recover. Recovery can still be active, okay? So I want you guys to make sure you're treating your body with respect, because respect and fueling and moving is what's gonna make you better for the rest. And that is what Mama G's Lifestyle is all about. Let's take this down or move it back. And let's talk about self-love. So I've talked about this a lot, and in the majority of our conversations, I've said to you, you need to love yourself and who you are. I need you to say to your body, I don't care if you have weight to lose. I don't care if you have strength to gain. I don't care if what do you don't like about yourself. I've said to you, find something that you love about yourself, that you love, not just like, you love. And I want you to write it down. I want you to make sure you tell yourself. I want you to be verbal about it. Be proud of yourself. But self-love is not just basking in the glory of loving yourself and being happy about this lifestyle change that you have taken, that you're rolling with. It's not a crutch to say, you know what? I did enough today. If you have a goal, you need to stay focused. You need to use your self-love and take all the opportunities to take advantage, to look back at your week, to look at your numbers, to look at your graphs, to look at your intake, to look at your meals, and do something with it. So it's very easy to love yourself when you're in denial about the shortcomings, okay? The shortcomings of missed my snack, had a piece of cake, didn't finish my macros for fitness, I'm gonna skip my walk because I'm good. Self-love is not enough to take over what you're trying to compete. Now, I've had a couple of conversations with people about caloric output, and we've had conversations about math. 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. 3,500 calories is a lot of work. 3,500 calories needs to be expended on top of what you already are burning to receive the weight loss you're looking for. So if you're finishing your cardio and you're doing low intensity, but you're on the bottom, or you get little peaks, and you burn 175 calories, come on, look at the numbers. The numbers of caloric output and intake. So if you look at the end of the day that you ate 1,500 calories, you need 1,500 calories in order to survive. You're at 3,000 and now you just burnt 200. You're not burning a pound of fat. Burning 200, you had 200 extra deficit calories, or 300. Then 300 times 7 is not a pound. Look at the numbers. That's why in conversations past, I said to you guys, choose to be active, okay? So if you go in to the gym or you go outside to do your workouts and you do your 30 minutes of low intensity, steady state cardio, boom, check it off the list. You hit your mobility, boom, check it off the list. You get your strength segment, boom, feeling good. You look at your overall output and it's like, oh, I'm at 300 calories. Great, I'm done for the day. Toss my feet up, put my hands behind my back, turn on the boob tube, get on my computer, go back to work. Choose to be active. Remember, if you're up in that zone of, oh, I took it down. If you're 60 and below, you can still walk around. You can still do a bunch of stuff. It's just not actively bringing up. Who's to say you don't walk to the grocery store? Who's to say that you're going to go shopping or run an errand? You don't go for a little extra walk if you're not at goal yet. So this brings me to the last point when it comes to self-love. Accountability. Okay? Accountability and correcting behavior. So, like I said, you're getting data. You're getting data by MyFitnessPal for your nutrition, and you're getting data by whether it's iWatch or Polar or OT Band. You are getting data, okay? You can do one of two things. You can look at it, you can pass it along to me and Mama G and say, boom, I did it. Two, you can use it. You can use it to motivate you. You can use it to see progress, okay? So you know the numbers now, 3,500 calories. That's the pound. If you're looking for 5 extra pounds, you know what you need to do. So your food is there. You cannot bring it down. Can you? Your fitness. Put the work in when you are there to work. If you're not there to work, get out of there. I'm serious. If you're there for your low intensity, you work during your low intensity. I have challenged multiple people to sit on a recumbent bike. I had a client tell me yesterday, I thought recumbent bikes were for old people. Get on it. Get on a recumbent bike and push your heart rate to zones 3. You are bloody sweating. Your quads are burning, probably if you're in good shape, because you actually have to put resistance on there. You actually have to use some muscle in order to get that heart rate moving, because you can't just fly on the recumbent bike like you can running, or you can battling ropes or whatever else that you're trying to do, or sprinting, whatever. Use it. See what happens. Those are all calories that count. Don't make this super hard on yourself. You can use recumbent bike. You can always use walk. I shared with you guys the other day that I went on stroller miles, and I was like, okay, I gotta go get some, my day was crazy, my week was crazy, I had to go get some cardio. I probably needed to keep it low intensity because I had a big lift coming up, and I couldn't keep my heart rate up because I was doing stroller miles. And it's hard to push, so I had to run. And then when I couldn't control it, I had to walk. And it was a little bit wavy, right? Because I was outside, I had some extremes, right? I had the stroller, and I had the environment, and I had the environment being the hills, the heat, and who knows what else. But you have to keep the tools that we are giving you and use them to your advantage, because it's a tool. You're able to use it to better the outcome, to correct behavior in the future. So last week is an educational tool to you. If Mondays you were supposed to go and do your Orange Theory class, and then you were inactive for the rest of the day because you were beat tired, so tired, you didn't take enough rest beforehand, right? If you went for your walk and were able to get your mobility, got your groceries in, made dinner, had a great successful Monday last week, let's do that Monday again. Let's do something that works, okay? I want to read one thing. Acknowledge your shortcomings. Own up to it, and don't allow your self-love to halter in this process. Self-love is so big, and if your self-love is enough, then that's enough. But we're looking at your health. And if your health at all needs improvement, you need to take your self-love and you need to combine it with accountability and corrective patterns in life, not just movement patterns, life patterns. And you need to make this work for you. Find a schedule. See my new calendar? I told you guys, so cute. Make a schedule. If it doesn't work, fine. We'll change it. You have 90 days. You have a lifetime. This is the beginning of your new future healthy lifestyle. So learn, change, be accountable, still love yourself, but don't use it as a scapegoat, and challenge yourself. When you're there to work. You know how to do your you know how to do your cardio, low intensity. It's a base builder. It's really good for you. Moderate intensity, that's where you guys are going to be pushing up your level. High intensity is up there. It's very uncomfortable, but it's really good to challenge your heart. High intensity interval training, going up and down, showing the progress of being able to recover because you've built that nice strong base. Let's work on specific calculated output. And you know what? If you ever feel like I'm going to be upset because you went and you did your workout and you did great, and then you're like, oh, and then I went for a walk. No, I'm not going to be upset. I'm going to say cheers. I'm going to say good. But just make sure, because you're eating a caloric deficit for the people that haven't hit goals, that you're not doing that regularly, because then we need to give you more food. And if you have questions about that, go ahead and ask Mama G because I give you extra food all the time. Anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring it to our next conversation, and that is a little bit of composition. So I have a client. She's incredible. She was training 3 times a week, strength training, predominantly hybrid athlete, still trying to get a little bit of hypertrophy, which is trying to build more muscle, also incorporating a little bit of power and endurance work in there as well, and always working corrective movement patterns, because when you're an endurance athlete, we always move forward. So we're always trying to get that back side of the body. I go like this because I'm trying to think about the shoulders and the back. Postural stabilizers, effective core. We're doing all those things. So this woman was, I don't know, she's 53, 54, somewhere in that ballpark. She is in excellent condition, okay? She weighed in, I think she's like 5'10", 101 maybe. She weighed in like 128 pounds. 128 pounds, 28.8 pounds or something like that. She had a body fat percentage that was like 26, excellent shape, but she wasn't very happy about it. She wanted to put on muscle, but then she was like, you know what, I really want to be leaner. I want to, feel better about myself in my bathing suit. And to each his own. If that's what your goal is, that is your goal. To understand that and to realize that is awesome. And then to implement a program is what needs to happen. So she was using a scale to measure her weight loss. And the weight loss was fairly dramatic. I thought 2 pounds, 1 pound, 2 pounds, 1 pound. Ended up losing about 5 pounds over 6 to 8 weeks. And like I said, very small woman to begin with, okay? She ate Mama G's Lifestyle. She started off with 1,600 calories, went to 1,800 calories, now leveling out at about 2,000. And like I said, endurance athlete, strength trains 3 times a week, does 1 active recovery day during that. There was a 300-calorie walk, and then had a cross-training day that was a swim, a HIIT training that was based off grip, a core training, and in the 6 to 8 weeks, we made a dramatic difference, okay? She ate, like I told you, 16, 18 to 2,000 calories in that interim, and we gradually added the calories because the weight loss was coming off so fast. And at the end of what we did was called a DEXA scan, we found out that she lost an insane amount of weight. Insane. So they clocked her in, or they weighed her in on the chart at 128. She was weighed in again at 118.6 or something. And so where did that weight come from? She was eating a calculated balanced diet of 50% carbohydrates, 30 grams of fat, 30% fat, and then 20 protein percent. And she still lost muscle. Now, she's okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm less okay with it than her because it's so hard to put on muscle. So for all of you people out there, all of you that are hesitating doing strength training, that are hesitating trying to activate their posterior chain, get their core to actually activate and use, I cannot stress enough how important it is to have muscle on your body, because as you lose weight, it is so hard to hold on to that hard work and achieved muscle that you have put onto your body and that you've held on to up until this point. Now, this person is not mythological. This person is Mama G herself. Now, Mama G, eating Mama G's Lifestyle, incredibly capable of putting together incredibly nutrient-dense foods, incredibly capable of hitting the timing, hitting every meal, never changing, or not never changing, never going off of it, never having a sweet, never having any alcohol, always hitting her workouts, putting in the work under the barbell, under the dumbbell, putting in the work on the pavement, on the stair climber, in the pool, still is human, still needs to think about how much work it is to put muscle on your body. So I want every single one of you to remember that muscle is metabolically active. Muscle burns, eats calories when you are at rest, aka metabolism. Muscle is smaller pound by pound than fat is pound by pound. So compositionally, you will appear much smaller. I'm going to let her talk a little bit more about this, but composition, muscle and fat, organs and skeletal tissue is all involved in there too. But I'm just talking about these two compositions, muscle and fat. They come on together and they go off together, okay? So if you are not eating enough food, you will 100% lose the muscle that you're working for. If you overtrain, you will lose the muscle that you are working for. If you at all are worried about this, talk to us, because as long as you're eating enough calories to sustain your daily intake, your workouts, that's what matters. So when you hit goal, when we're there, we need to add food to maintain your composition or to improve composition to hold on to your muscle, because your muscle is what we need to live a long and healthy, independent life. Like you're going to, I'm going to, and so is Mama G. So ladies and gentlemen, I swear I set my watch for my timer, but it's not there. So I might be over, or I might be under. It's all good. So I want Mama G to pick up where I left off. Decided to make a change. Decided that she was going to go through the hard challenges that I have all went through when it comes to MyFitnessPal, building recipes, going out to eat. She learned that for her, her goal meant so much to her. It's your turn to finish it off, Mama G. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Samantha B, and you are better for the rest.